YouTube, what is going on? It's your boy Nicolo Rigano, and you are watching my barber dreams. So before we start this tutorial, I'm here at my boy Lorenzo's shop. This is LA Effects, and we have a bunch of barbers in here just cutting up, having a good time for the back to school rush. So head to check it out today. What is going on? We're gonna jump right into this transformation, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, you need to go do that right now and hit that bell so you don't miss a video. So I'm gonna jump right into the detachables here. I had to break out the detachables to get most of this bulk out. And on a big transformation like this, usually I would start with the top to really get that foundation right, but I just decided to go away and take down the bulk on the sides. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and that's about a 3 guard right here, or a 3 blade I should say. So we're gonna make our base layer here, and I am gonna do a bald fade. So I'm just clearing all that bulk and getting ready to fade that up. Alright, so now I'm going to clear the bulk on the ridge here using clipper over comb. And I don't know if you could tell, try to slow it down and get the best angle I could, but I'm scooping the comb at a 45-degree angle that's towards me. I have the blade all the way closed, and I'm just swiping away that bulk. So you swipe across to get rid of the bulk, and you swipe up to blend the rest. But right here, I'm just trying to get rid of that bulk real quick. I'm obviously going to go back and redefine it and everything, but now I'm just worried about just kind of getting it all together and get rid of that bulk. Now before I do any bald fade like this, which is like mid to low level, I line up real quick as you see me did there, just so it keeps that area dark, gives me a guide, so that C-cup will pop when I line it up at the end. Now I'm making my ball line here, and I'm following the shape of my client's head. Again, it is like a low to mid-level fade, but doesn't mean we can't go to the shape of his head. The fade will turn out so much better, and it'll just look more contoured to my client's head. It's like almost customized to his head. That's what you do with every single fade. So now I'm just clearing the rest of the bulk, balling that out. So now I'm going to jump into the foils here. I'm going to get that extra close for my man. And I bring the foils just below the ball line, so it's not as hard to get out once I start my fade. So I'm kind of tapering out the foils as I go up there. But again, I get it real close. Sometimes you can even wait till after the fade and kind of hit it at the end, but I just decided to do it right here as soon as I balled him out. So I'm going to jump right into it. My Andis Masters here. I have a fade blade on it, so it has the 5/0. It will take out that ball line, which I love. Definitely recommend that you do. And I'm going up about a ½ inch or so, making my first guideline here. It kind of is hard to see as my client has blonde hair. It is lighter. So now to take out that first guideline, I'm going to slowly close my blade quarter of the way as I'm going down. And eventually I'm going to end up with that thing all the way closed to take out that first initial guideline, which is the ball line. And notice how I'm using the corners. That's how I'm taking out this line. May not really look like it from this angle, but I'm using strictly the corners of the blade to take out that guide. So I'm really not raising the guideline or the fade at all. I'm just taking that out, and I'm opening it back up as I go up the guideline. I hope that makes sense, and that is called cross-checking. And first time around, it may not be perfect, so I always make sure I go back on my guidelines at least another 1 or 2 times, you know, to make sure it is fully blended. But again, with blonde hair like this, it's pretty easy to take out. So now I got my one guard on fully open. I'm making another guideline here. Notice how on the sides it's a little smaller, and I stretch it a little bit bigger in the back for a bigger transition. That's because it's a little coarser in the back of the head, and I want to stretch that, you know, so the fade will look right. So I didn't include it in the video, but I did close that one guard all the way to soften that up a bit. And now I'm at it with my half guard, doing the same steps, using the corners, closing my blade fully at the bottom of the guideline until it's fully gone, and then opening it slowly, going up the guideline. Again, I'm using my corners, and sometimes with super coarse hair, I will stretch the skin to get a little closer. Now I have no guard on, blade fully open, and again, I'm using my corners, stretching that skin, and I'm just getting out that last little guideline. And sometimes you won't need to do this, but I always make sure I do this. I think it always makes it look a little bit crispier, gets that last little you know, line out that's there. And yeah, you might even end up with your blade all the way closed. Now my goal here, and with any haircut, is to get through this system as fast as I can, and then go back and spend the rest of the haircut detailing, because that is what makes the haircut. That is what makes barbering. When you go back and you detail, you take out those dark spots, you soften spots up. That is what makes the fade super clean. So now I'm going at it with my 2 guard fully open, coming right off the head, kind of in a scooping motion, and I'm clearing the bulk, and I'm making my next guideline. So I have it open, and I'm also closing it too. Start with it open and then close it right after. So next guard would be the 1.5, and I'm starting with that fully open, and the same steps, slowly closing that coming down, opening the blade, going up. And for beginners, I know it may seem hard at first, but it just becomes more natural with reps. And that's what you want to do. Get as many reps as you can if you're starting out. You're just kind of opening that lever a quarter at a time, and you'll get it. It'll just feel natural after a while. So here I'm still using my corners, and now I jump to the 1 guard fully open, and I'm softening up that line a little bit at a time, really emphasizing them corners. And look, that thing's already coming together. And I'm constantly brushing off my client. Guys, this is so important to clear that debris, make it easier for yourself and comfortable for your client. Now the blade's pretty much fully closed at this point, and I'm kind of going up to the line, scooping it a little bit past there, scooping a little bit like past the line, if that makes sense, and taking that line out. Now I have my half guard on and fully open. Again, just kind of attacking that line until it's fully gone. So guys, I faded up, and now I'm fading down. And this again is called cross-checking. Now I'm going to clear the rest of the debris on the side, the rest of the ridge, and with clipper over comb, like I said I was going to do. And I'm just going to make sure that that thing is clean. And again, I usually would start with the top first because that's going to set up that foundation so much easier. So the shear work would have already been done, and the ridge would have already been set, and then you could have started your fade. But I decided to do it this way today. So now I'm going to saturate my client's head here for the shear work, and I sped up a bit, but I'm starting from the back, and I'm being very careful with that cowlick area. See, I'm picking up clean sections one at a time, and I'm taking off, desired length of my client. He really wanted to keep it finger length, just enough to kind of put up. My client here is really not picky, and he's really an easygoing client. I don't know if those are the best. If you're a barber out there, you know what I'm talking about. These clients are the best. But I wanted to make my man look good, so I'm going to go through, get these sections clean, get them cut, make sure everything's even. And this is where cross-checking really comes into play, guys. You really want to cross-check on the top, especially. A lot of barbers don't go through and cross-check. And how to do that is, well, I'm cutting horizontally right now, so I would go back and cut vertically. So I would position myself in the side of his head and pick the hair up that way, and make sure there's no ridges or nothing really sticking out, making sure it's all even. But right now I'm cutting horizontally, making sure each section is clean and even. And no, in case you're wondering, I do not cut this fast with shears. This is sped up for the video's sake. But notice how I'm pulling his hair right here to the side. That is very important. That's how you really clean up that ridge area. I'm just combing it back one at a time, taking each section, making sure everything is even there. Notice I'm using the fine tooth section of my comb, which makes it a lot easier for the hair to grab the hair and be more detailed with it. So right here I'm doing point cutting on the bangs, and that's kind of adding some texture and making the bangs piecey rather than just blunt and straight across. That's a great technique for adding texture, especially with finger length style. And it's really not hard to do, guys. It just takes practice. I can make another video just on point cutting if you guys want. Comment below if you want to do that, if you want me to make another video just on point cutting. And so this is a better shot of how I point cut. You can kind of see there. I'm just kind of adding that texture, making those bangs really piecey. And it'll be a way softer look for him when he styles it up. So now I'm just want to show you here. I did leave that bulk here on the cowlick area, and I think it's a mistake a lot of barbers make is they cut that so short, and it looks like it's just like a straight crew cut, I guess, if you will, rather than leaving that bulk and letting that cowlick really lay there. So that is really how you do that. You want to go around and kind of pick each section up. Really be careful of that cowlick area, but don't cut it too short or it'll stick straight up. So now I'm just doing some shear of a comb here on the ridge, just softening that up a little bit. I'll start with my shears, I'll exhaust that, and then I'll switch to my thinning or texturizing shears and just kind of soften that up even more. Now I'm going to line up the beard here. He did take some length off. I didn't include that in this video, but he did. I think he even went shorter than this. Now I'm just going to fade it in after I line it up. And I think that is key to get a really crisp beard lineup. You want to line it up first and then fade it in. So now I'm going to start here with my 1.5 guard. Just kind of create that layer, I guess, if you will. And you're just going to soften that top line up little by little. So now I got my 1 guard on. And it's just like you were doing any other fade. Now you're going to switch to your half. Again, softening it up until it's gone. Now I got no blade on there. And boom, it's faded. Now I'm lining up his stash, making sure everything's all even. And I always line up eyebrows on my clients. I think that they really appreciate that. You know, that's something you could do that's quick and easy, and your clients won't forget that. Just always remember the detail, guys. Even when I think I'm done, I go back and I detail, and that is what makes a barber. I'm telling you, your clients will notice and appreciate it. So when I'm doing the jawline on the beard lineup on the bottom, I am starting in the middle, starting that middle section there, and I'm working my way out. And I turned it so I can show you guys, but I did start in the mirror. You always want to use your mirror as a reference, and that will make sure that you are completely even. And that's another thing with even the haircuts. Always make sure you're checking your mirror, making sure that everything is on point, because your mirror will not lie. So I thought it'd be cool to give my man a couple lines here. You know, it's a little something different for him. I mean, he hasn't had a haircut. I mean, this guy probably gets a haircut every, I don't know, 6 months or something. So I figured I'd give him a little flair, you know, to last him a little bit. So I'm just giving him a simple 2 lines here. And how I do my designs, I started it with the blade up, facing up like I did, and then I flipped the trimmers to hit that bottom line. That will make it sharper. But once I hit that razor on it, it'll get real sharp. So now I'm doing a hot towel on them, which I do with every single client. Again, guys, your clients will appreciate it. Go the extra mile, do that little bit of more detail, and I promise you will build loyal clients. And then once you have them at that point, then, you know, at a certain point when you're done, you want to leave the shop you're working at or whatever, then you could charge what you want and upcharge those services, or you could just include them in your price. But clients appreciate that. It's attention to detail. So right here I was using the Tomb 45. I showed you guys a shave gel. Love this stuff, love this company. I'll include the link to the website in the description if you guys want. So now I am stretching the skin with that straight razor, making sure that beard gets real crisp. And for your beginners, your straight razor should be at a 45-degree angle every time, with a very light touch. If you're not used to doing faces or skin yet, I mean, try it on your arm or your leg first. You know, really get a feel of what that blade feels like on skin, and then move to faces. Now I'm just doing the back of the neck. And if you're wondering what kind of blades I use, I love the Personas, you know, the ones you snap in half. I've been using those for pretty much whole time I've been cutting. Love those blades. There's definitely other good ones out there, but these I find to be just, you know, they work for me. So you find what blades work for you, what you like best, and comment below which ones you'd like to use. So now I'm just stretching that skin, wiggling that blade in those lines just to make it that much sharper. So now I'm going to wipe my client off here. I'm going to put some astringent or aftershave on them. Now this is a product that I'm developing from my product line, The Outfit, which is launching very, very soon. I'm very excited. I can't wait to share it with you guys. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the story of how I came up with it, or my brand and the meaning behind it, what it means to me, stay tuned and subscribe to the channel and look at the old videos for product updates and stuff like that. Boom, and my man is transformed here. Definitely had a lot of fun with this one. If you know me, I love transformations. So comment down below if you want to see more transformations like this or more tutorials like this. Now this was in my basement. I want to make more tutorials and videos at the shop I work at, which is Main Street Barbershop in Monongahela, if you don't know. Subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more cuts, wraps, tutorials, vlogs, food reviews, all that good stuff, make sure you subscribe and follow my Instagram if you don't already for more cuts and videos and all stuff like that. Until the next time, I am out.